This is my first time using macOS, so I decided to go with the new M2 Mac Mini, but I only got the base model, which is 8GB of RAM and 256GB SSD. I think it will be sufficient for my use, which is some basic 4K editing, responding to emails, and the occasional Apple Arcade. So this video is going to be more of my desktop setup and the accessories that I've paired with this device. Nothing much in the box besides the device and the power cable. The ports include an Ethernet port, 2 Thunderbolt ports, an HDMI output, 2 USB-A outputs, and lastly a 3.5mm audio output. For me personally, this is enough. The only thing I may struggle with is storage, in which case I will just get an external SSD. Okay, so starting off with the monitor I've chosen, this is the LG 27UL500W. It is a 27-inch 4K 60Hz monitor and it costs around $350. The inputs include a DisplayPort, 2 HDMI ports, and a 3.5mm audio input. Again, these inputs are just about enough for me, and I feel this is a good budget 4K monitor, and LG has always been somewhat good to me and I'm a fan of their simple menu system. I only edit in 4K at most, and I'm not much of a PC gamer. I still use my PS4, which is only 60Hz, so this monitor had just what I needed. To pair audio, I went with the JBL Quantum Duos. To be honest, there were not many good branded basic PC speakers available in my region until I stumbled upon these. I am somewhat of a JBL fanboy, so it was pretty much a no-brainer on these, and they cost around $120, so not an overly expensive system. It comes with a few cables, a power supply, a USB-C cable, a USB-A to micro USB, and a 3.5mm auxiliary cable. The speakers connect to each other via the USB-C cable, and there are two options to connect the speakers to the setup. One is a 3.5mm cable which I connected to my monitor. I did this so that when I use my PS4, that is where the sound will be connected from. And I've connected speakers separately to my Mac Mini via the USB on the Mini and the micro USB on the main speaker. Looking at the controls on the speaker, at the top is your power button, then your Bluetooth button, which means you can even connect your phone to these speakers. Then is your light function button, and above these three is your light color button. At the bottom front is your surround sound button, volume control knob, again a light button, and again a 3.5mm input. These lights are pretty cool and not overbearing, but enough to set a good mood of gaming or listening to some music in the background while working. In terms of sound, I'm quite impressed with the bass, especially on low volume. I'm more than satisfied with the sound, and it has been quite immersive when I played on my console. I know people did complain about it being a bit too bassy, which was not ideal to listening to podcasts and stuff, but I've only used these speakers for gaming and streaming music, and in those aspects these little guys are great. My only issue is that I wish the front had some sort of mesh grill to protect the speakers, as they do seem delicate, especially with my autistic son fidgeting around. I've just included a quick sample of the sound here, which as I always say is quite irrelevant, but take it from me, these guys are great value for money. Moving on lastly to my keyboard and mouse setup. You can see that my funds are coming to an end, so I went with some very budget-friendly options. This is the Logitech K380 Wireless keyboard, and it costs around $35 to $40. It runs off 2 AAA batteries and can be connected to 3 different devices simultaneously. It is a pretty basic keyboard with no number pad, but I only really use it for responding to emails and I don't do much typing. It does feel sturdy and the buttons are not bad at all. Moving on to the mouse, and again it's by Logitech. This is the Pebble M350 Wireless Slim Mouse, and it costs around $25. It has a power switch button underneath as well as a pairing button. The top comes off magnetically and is powered by a single AA battery. Again, for my basic scrolling needs, this is enough. It moves quite smoothly, and I've just paired it with a small Logitech mousepad just to complete the look. So that brings us to the end of this video of my simple desk setup to go with the M2 Mini. I hope this was somewhat of informative to you guys, and thanks for watching.